stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beach dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need pre-wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
We can all agree the first Brave Little Toaster was absolutely bonkers, so no idea if this is the second or the third of the trilogy, but I am unprepared for whatever is about to be thrown at me, and I accept that. You like adventures? Let's go on one. We hit play. Rob is back, and he's going to be a veterinarian. The show starts with the song by Herman's Hermits. Something tells me I'm into something good. Let's hope so. Rob and his out-of-his-league girlfriend, Chris, are driving the convertible. Okay, she's driving her convertible. He's in shotgun. They're about to graduate in Skip Town, and Chris says, and Gradland's on our anniversary. And Rob says, yeah, so it's going to be even more special. And Chris is like, what is? And Rob panics. Abort, abort, buddy. Signal's not received. He pivots, and he's like, oh, you know, our anniversary. Little buddy tried to line that up. He tried to connect those dots of how couples usually celebrate graduation, and she did not bite. She laughs, though, at the Herman's Hermit song and proclaims that this song sounds like something Rob's old radio would play. Pause, wait. Old radios do not play old songs, lady, but that's actually a fascinating concept. Imagine if radios could only play songs from the era of their creation. Imagine if you could only listen to new music on new music playing formats. Like you had to update your physical music player every few years if you wanted to keep listening to new music. Wow, did you hear that thump? That was Steve Jobs sitting up in his coffin. Rob's girlfriend's name is Chris McGrody. McGrody. I want to know the backstory to the writer giving this poor gal the last name McGrody. High school must have been tough on her. Probably why she's now dating a loser like Rob. Then the very next thing that happens, this is funny, is we see Mark McGrody is the assistant producer. Well, mystery solved. So Rob is in vet school, a character, and he just has to put the finishing touches on his thesis, and then he's taking McGrody out for burritos for two. And they both agree that maybe by then he might remember what anniversary she's talking about. I'm so confused. Toaster and Blanket and Vacuum and Lampy, all the characters are waiting for him at his dorm. What do you think all these objects do when Rob takes McGrody back to his place and they... There's a new character. He's a rat in a cage, you know, despite all his rage. And he has rage. So Rob has a pet rat named Ratso and a cat named Maisie who just had babies. And she's super mean. She tells Ratso to his face, her babies haven't opened their eyes yet. And when they do, she doesn't want the first thing they ever see to be Ratso. Ouch! Murgatroyd is a pet snake, and there's a chihuahua whose name I didn't catch, and a monkey named Sebastian. All these animals live in his dorm? I guess that's okay as long as he doesn't have a hot plate, am I right? The Chihuahua breaks into song. He has a song called What a Day to Remember, and we get the backstory of all these animal characters and how they ended up with Rob, and then this happens in my living room.
We did what a day to remember. I remember it just that way. I'll never forget you. Remember that way.
What is happening?
What a day
How does
to
she even know the song? I have no idea.
remember.
We've never watched this movie before. Must be on like a CD compilation or something. This blew my mind. I'm in like parallel universe. So these animals were homeless and Rob plucked them all out of harm's way. Everyone remembers how Rob saved them except for the monkey with the bad arm. Okay, no, this isn't his dorm. This is like a lab or like a veterinarian clinic. He only takes Lampy with him to his dorm. Ratso says that's because Lampy is the only one of you that isn't outdated and useless. Uh-oh, Lampy's actually getting popular with the rest of them because of his special treatment. We are back to Lampy and Master Rob in the dorm. He's putting his finishing touches on his thesis. Some greasy student comes in. He's all passive-aggressive, and he hates Rob because Rob wins all the awards, and Rob punched above his weight in the girlfriend department, and that's fair. I've hated people for far less, I'll be honest. Chris comes in with the burritos, and Rob's like, oh, I forgot about supper. And the greasy guy tells Chris, if you were my girlfriend, I'd never forget about our dates. And she goes, I would. Ice cold, Chris. Damn. And then there's a power surge and the computer hiccups and Rob lost his entire thesis because he wrote an entire thesis in one sitting without ever hitting save. The computer and the mouse are also like animated characters when he's not there. So they take his computer to a computer nerd and the nerd can't even help them either. And hot damn, we get like the full version of that 90s WWF pay-per-view opening music bed. This is great.
If life were fair.
Anyway, that song is the most epic music bed in the history of music beds. And Rob is not going to graduate if he can't get his thesis back. So back at the place of discarded items and animals, the monkey Sebastian apparently came from some horrible testing lab, and the vacuum thinks he's exaggerating about the abuse. So to prove it, the monkey unwraps his hand, and we don't see it, but we just see the characters' reaction, and they all gasp. He came from Titus Laboratories, where they ran horrible tests on animals. Dark. Blanky covers Sebastian and they cuddle and all the objects go to bed. Radio plays some soothing music and then suddenly it's all these loud gunshots and sound effects. And that was pretty funny. Chris spills a bunch of kitty litter and gets a good idea of how to quickly clean it up. So he fires up the vacuum and sucks it up as the vacuum chokes on all the rocks. That's really funny. Rob comes in and loses his mind. That vacuum is special to me. And gross. I once read an article about the saddest things the hospital emergency staff have ever seen, and I guess one time this guy came in and he'd used his vacuum to... Chris deals out some harsh truth that he cares more about the vacuum than he does her, and she storms out because he still doesn't know what anniversary they're supposed to be celebrating. Rob leaves that greasy, mean character in charge of all the animals, and this jerk starts shaking cages and he makes a phone call. He's going to sell the animals to a testing lab. We get the WWF music bed anytime this character is on screen, and I love it. The monkey now fires up the computer, and he's tapping into the information superhighway. They try to explain the internet because it's 1997, and now we get 3 sexy female computers singing and harmonizing about how the internet works. And the modem goes into the mouse, to the something to the house, and all to the internet. Tap, tap, tap to the super highway. My brain doesn't know what to do with the song. Ratso is sneaking around the campus, and he sees a giant glowing green computer in the basement. We were warned about a virus, and suddenly it attacks the computer, and this computer is coughing and dying and reveals secret information about animal deportation. They panic and they try to unplug the machine, and Sebastian is shivering and terrified because he thinks he's going back to the lab to be tortured again. He saw a shipping order for all of them, like all the animals, and I don't know a single Sebastian except for this one, and my favorite one, this one. Rob pours his heart out to Chris and says that what he's going through couldn't be any worse, which is kind of funny because we just heard about Monkey Sebastian being tortured at an animal testing lab. Also, this movie is unnecessarily dark. I think the greasy guy's name is Mac, and the awesome music starts up again, and he says at midnight tonight, all these animals are history. It's night, and Mac comes to pack up and ship off all the animals, and the vacuum comes to life and attacks Mac, but he fights off the vacuum, pushes it in the closet, and locks the door. And he says, quote, everything is going nutsy cuckoo. Wow, this guy should stop selling animals to the black market and be like a ghost hunter or a cop. Nothing shakes this guy. A vacuum just attacked him and he just shrugged it off and kept on going. The characters go to find that giant computer in the basement and it's sick. He has a virus that affected all the other computers attached to him over the campus, which is why we learned about the internet. We get a sad song about how at one point this computer was a state-of-the-art, most popular model, but then better computers came along and replaced him. Eventually, they shut him down and moved him into the basement. The old computer needs a new transistor tube. So they send the rat and the radio to the warehouse to find one, and they do. Radio accidentally breaks the transistor tube, and now everyone's down his throat. Like, I found it, sorry I broke it. Now, evil Mac prints the shipping order, and Mac is going to send the animals to the laboratory tonight. The giant old computer tries to do something one last time, and he fries himself and dies. The giant computer is dead. Why don't the appliances just hide the animals?
If life were fair.
The radio then takes out his own transistor tube to fix the computer, but doing that kills himself. The radio is dead. Mac boxes up all the animals and gets an envelope of money. The appliances put radio's transistor into the giant computer and comes back to life, and he feels great, and he knows what to do. They tell the computer, do your best, because now you have radio's best inside of you. What a line. Mac wants to hop in with the truck delivering the animals to the torture lab. He says, I just want to get across the state line. Wow, so apparently a cat, a rat, a snake, and an old one-handed monkey are that lucrative to illegal laboratory testers that he can drop out of university and run for the border and live the rest of his life off that money. Rob wakes up as his computer comes back online, his thesis is back, and he sees the shipping order for the animals to Tartarus Lab or whatever. This movie is a weird infomercial for the internet. It's odd and kind of fun at the same time. He throws a rock through Chris's window and is like, get up, I need your help. They're now chasing the animal delivery van. The police are chasing them now as well because everyone's speeding. The appliances get on a rolly cart powered by the modem, and they're speeding down the highway, and you know what? It's fun. I'll just accept that. The snake gets free, and he goes into the cab of the truck and scares the driver and Mac, and they slam on their brakes, and the police and the rolly cart and Chris and Rob all get there at the same time. Rob tells Mac he can't believe a loser, even as big as he is, would stoop this low to sell the animals. We get Macy the cat death scare, but she's okay. Mac is handcuffed and led away. They want to put the old giant computer into the new technology museum. Rob finds his dead radio, and he's sad because these tubes are impossible to find. Didn't the rat find one in like an hour? His computer is okay. The memory banks are being stroked, and the computer feels so good. There's something he can't keep to himself anymore, and he shakes and shakes and shakes, and then the thesis starts printing. That was weird. It was like the computer orgasm. And that's not a joke I'm forcing into this review. I'm 99% sure that was the joke the movie was going for. Weird. Macy's kittens open their eyes, and she makes sure Ratso is actually the first thing they see, and they love Ratso. The animals are all back and healthy, and Rob will miss them when he moves. All the animals, though, now get great homes because of all the attention they got from the news coverage of their kidnapping and high-speed chase and rescue. They all have great homes except for Ratso. He's coming with a couple. Rob and Chris say bye to the rest of the animals and close the door. Rob proposes to Chris. She says yes, and he's like, look at all the appliances we already have. That's pretty funny. She has a gift for him as well. She pulls she put the ask out on the internet for a new tube for his radio and found one in Alaska, and they shipped it. He fires up his old radio, and we end as it began with Hermit's Something Tells Me I'm Into Something Good playing. They pack everything up, including the toaster, and wow, I just remembered, this is a Brave Little Toaster movie. This is the first time I'm mentioning the toaster. He had no part in this movie at all. Radio says he's cold, and Blanky says, well, that's because that new part came from Alaska, and everyone laughs at him like, this idiot kind of a way. And we end with a song sung by all the appliances in the trunk of the car. They sing, hang in there, kid. You'll find someone who spins your dials for you and flips your switch and smiles for you. And honestly, at the end of the day, isn't that just what everybody wants?
If life were fair.
One more time.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal appearance that he has. Thank you.